Jonathan Blow to get the fuck out and raid our channel instead. Hey,
We are
subscribe
live.
to Earn Draw. We should be live.
No, like your camera's live.
Oh, and no one can see me. Okay, people can see me now. Fantastic. Hey, how are we all doing? Welcome, Thursday, 3:30 again. We have, hiding in the background, we have Charlie,
Hello, hello.
we have Fraser,
Hello.
and we have Sam.
Hello.
So a full contingent once again. How's everyone doing? How's your week been?
Good. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, week's been solid, nice and busy.
Nice and busy?
Pretty good. Made some music. Got some nibbles for job applications, which is nice.
Ooh, we like that.
Oh. Can you
It's,
sort of give us a hint of anything exciting you've got for? Or not? You don't have to.
It's just a graduate public service position, so not really, not game focused, but in the same sort of space.
Same sort of space. So what, using the technology,
Using a computer and probably troubleshooting for other people.
using a computer? Doesn't everyone use a computer? Okay.
We can be hopeful. Maybe there's
Right.
transferable skills.
True.
Do you mean like public facing stuff for like marketing and that? Like you'd be doing social media stuff or?
No, it's like the Department of Treasury and Finance, so it'll probably be developing stuff
Oh, okay.
for the everyday people.
Yeah. So using a computer.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, that's
So
exciting nonetheless.
you spend all that time studying so you can use a computer.
Yep.
Oh boy, can we use computers?
Hey, I just opened up Steam. I don't know whether you can see my screen or you can see the stream, but NextFest is on right at the moment. I didn't realise.
Oh, it's begun.
Yeah, has anyone checked it
My
out?
dates are out.
I'll just
I
quickly,
was
it says on
going
through,
to.
on now through to October the 20th. Where are we? October the 16th.
We're 16th,
How many days does it normally go for?
I thought it was a week.
Yeah,
Maybe I might be wrong.
October 13th to 20th. Yeah. So if anyone hasn't checked it, oh goodness me, look at this game. That looks very realistic, doesn't it? Okay. I think they're trying to emulate maybe something from Remedy, maybe
Mirror?
like Remedy's combination of live. They should probably spend a bit more on their makeup department. But
Just a
there's some
little more. Yeah.
some interesting looking stuff there. I would definitely recommend anyone check out NextFest. All the beginner games are there. This one looks like The Last Caretaker. That looks pretty cool. I might check that one out actually. So the way NextFest works is that you can download demos of games and watch people talking about them, the developers talking about them and stuff, and streaming on them. And the whole idea is to give indie developers a bit of an opportunity to get their games out there and get noticed and what have you. And there's a lot of stuff that may be not so great, but then you get other things like this, which actually looks really kind of good. I'm going to check that out. Reanimal, goodness me, there's some pretty good looking stuff on here. So, Fraser, we want to see
Yeah.
your game up there at some stage, maybe next year.
Yeah, no, definitely something to keep an eye on and keep in mind as things get closer to being developed, for sure.
Yeah,
Always
yes.
good to look for opportunities for indies to show off.
I have to admit, I have done a NextFest. It was about 3 years ago now, and it's really successful. I think what happens is you get a whole lot of the smaller to medium streamers jumping on. And there's some sort of specialist indie streamers, and if they see a game they're interested in, then they'll sort of grab it and they'll play it, and get some free publicity on Twitch or on YouTube from the streamers. So I'd recommend it to any devs. It's probably one of the best marketing things that I have as a non-marketing person.
Mm.
Oh.
Alrighty.
Did you do all the things that are recommended for Next Fest? Like wait till the end of your nearing the end of your development cycle, and yeah, did you get in before they said only one game ever is allowed? Can you not-
Yeah, no, I think they changed that just as I got in. But yeah, I still haven't finished the game, so I didn't necessarily wasn't the best strategy, but it was good while it lasted. I'm looking at ways to maybe be able to do it again, because I made a mistake in that respect. So as Charlie's saying, wait until you're nearly ready to. In fact, I'd almost say wait until you're finished. Wait until you are just off being finished, and then do it, and then release within the month afterwards. That would be my recommendation.
Yeah, keep that momentum going.
Yeah, 100%. So don't do it too soon, but definitely do it. Like if you've got a game, jump in, get out there, put yourself out there, and it's one of the best marketing options you'll get. So that's Next Fest.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Alrighty. So where I was going though was 7 Days to Die. 7 Days to Die. You guys haven't played this, have you?
I have not
I've
played.
not played it. I have heard of it though,
You've heard of it.
and seen some short stills and screens.
Cool. Okay. Well, we'll get to the store page actually. So.
It looks like you've played just a little bit there, Chris.
I was gonna say, yeah, I played just a little bit. So it doesn't tell me how much it is, but it's been around for a very long time. This and Rust are probably two of the games that I've played a great deal of. Look, I reviewed this back in 2017. Goodness me, I'll have to update my review. So I reviewed it. Where are we now? Like 8 years ago. Yeah, there you go. It's $66 now. Goodness me, games are just getting so expensive. I can't afford to play them anymore. But anyway, I was going to mention. So it's been around for a long time. I played it a lot. They keep updating it. It's been in early access. Well, I think version 1 just came out last year. Interesting thing is though, they've made some updates to the game, and they've kind of really screwed some things up, is really all I can say. They have screwed some things up in their design side, I would say. So was someone going to say something?
I just said, oh, you don't want to hear that.
Well, it's really interesting, and I think it's a cautionary tale for all of us. And to be honest, I'm sort of thinking, I haven't done this, I haven't had time, I've been really busy lately, but I wanted to get, I think using something like player stories, you can work out what the sort of core player experience of your game is. And I think what they've done, they haven't done that. They don't know what their core player experience is, because I think what happens is that what they've done is they have introduced new mechanics which have actually worked against their core player experience, which is a real problem. We'll see one of them today. It's terrible. Like, it really is just such a bad idea. Does that make sense? I don't know whether you've seen other games that have done that before, where you've got this sort of core experience and this game that you really enjoy, and they bring in another mechanic and it just screws up completely. You experience that?
I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head. Nothing off the top of my head, but I feel like I have experience, especially with online games, and you leave it for a year or two and you come back and you're like, this is just completely different. And you no longer enjoy it. But I wonder why that happens. When did 7 Days to Die come out?
2013.
Originally?
2013.
2013.
Just a year or two
So they've
ago.
probably seen, yeah, they've probably seen a few developers change hands at that time.
The core developers are still the same. So the Fun Pimps, that's the name of the developers. Interesting name, the Fun Pimps. But no, there's definitely I think there was 4 original sort of lead developers, and they've brought more people on. Yeah, so that's probably not their excuse. Lack of experience might be the excuse. I think they kind of just did this and succeeded. They were like one of those lucky developers to succeed. And
Yep.
yeah, I mean that happens. Like that definitely has. Hey, we got Crash Test Butters here. Crash Test Butter, g'day from Australia. How you doing? Cuba, for example. Yeah, it's 7 days today. It's really good in certain ways now, but I think, you know, this is something we need to understand more about. Is like what gameplay works with other types of gameplay, and what sort of gameplay actually does the opposite and works against the gameplay that you've already got in there. And this is what we've seen. So we see this example. That's 7 Days to Die. So let me show you. I came up with this yesterday. So I play this. I enjoy this game. This is a game that I play to unwind. I've been playing it for a long time. You can see I think I've got 1,300 hours or something in it. I enjoy just playing it and building and all that sort of stuff. And it's my sort of unwind activity. But what they've done, so it is. So before I go into it, I should also mention it is an open world, farming, crafting, building, killing zombies type of game. And every 7 days you get a blood moon, and you get this horde of zombies coming in, and you have to survive the horde of zombies. That's the sort of basic, yeah.
Pretty
So that's-
sandboxy by the
Yeah.
sounds, yeah.
Yeah. So you got to wander around, you got to find things, you know. So yeah. But what they've done recently in the last one, they have introduced storms. Can we think of other games that have storms in them? Trying to think of other
Storms.
games. Like a storm, yeah.
Fortnite, I feel
Oh.
like, is the biggest example, but maybe not of a typical.
That's the one
thunderstorm.
where the storm is around you and it actually controls where you go. Yeah.
Yep.
It's okay. Fair. That's
Sounds-
that's a good example. So you can't go in
Sounds-
that. It's pushing you out. It's pushing you away from there. Yeah.
Sons of the Forest has it, but it's more of a environmental change.
So it doesn't affect the player.
You get cold, and that does affect stamina,
Okay.
and I think it does affect what variety of enemies are visible. But also the seasons change, so it does become harder to see certain enemies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Another game that does it really well, but not so much mechanically, very much on the visual. Actually, that's not totally true, but the new Stalker game, Stalker 2, they have quite astounding storms that roll through, and a couple of different ones, from wind storms to lightning storms to the, the big nuclear sort of fallout storm.
Okay.
And at least two of those change your gameplay quite drastically. One of them is you have to hide in the shelter, and this is from way back in their first game. They had this as part of their mechanic.
Can I just pause you there? Because what I'd like to do, let's have a look at this first. Keep that
Okay.
in mind, because that actually sounds really interesting. So what I'd like to do is let's have a look at what what the Fun Pips decided was a good idea, and then we'll talk about. I've got a few videos here. I had to do this over a few different ones, so please bear with me. It's not just going to be the single one. But let's have a quick look. So this was yesterday. I was hanging around my base. I was actually looking. I had 2 skill points to spend. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with these? So, and then the storm comes up. So let's just have a quick look. So we get the storm warning. So first up, it gives you this strange warning text thing.
Yeah, just text.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, let me go to that.
Where are
next
your
one.
walls? You got no walls.
That's another issue which we'll talk about. We'll talk about. Okay. That's another gameplay breaking change they've made. So basically, if I stay, I think it's 2 blocks away undercover, I'm okay. And you can see we've got here. So we've got a countdown to the beginning of the storm. And that's all fine. Like, I mean, okay, if you want to put a big thing on their text thing saying, yeah, there's a storm coming. Not sure why you need to, but
Oh,
I don't know that it was very well thought through. And it's telling me now to seek shelter, so it's saying I'm... And then it's stay indoors.
Yeah, it's jumping between, isn't it?
No, that's because I'm moving. So when I move
Moving.
close to the open, to the... I'm not
yeah.
sheltered.
Seek shelter, yeah.
So you can see how if I stay in the center, I'm fine.
it's very respectful winds to not blow
Yeah.
through your open sort of veranda there.
Absolutely. We like respectful ones. Okay, so the storm has now begun, and this big green thing saying I'm safe in the storm. So now I've got final. Okay, so I'm safe. Now I'm going to show you what actually happens when I go out into the storm. This will show you how bloody deadly they are. This is a bit like the Fortnite storm. Okay, so seek shelter now. If you look down the top left-hand corner, you've got a number there. 12 seconds, 11 seconds, 10 seconds, 9, 8. Down and down and down.
Was it a firestorm?
Yeah, this is the burnt biome, so this is the firestorm. So you can see I just lost 11 hit points in seconds. So I've gone from 150 to 117. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. And this is a game that's an open world exploration. So, okay, so that's what it is. That's the wonderful 7 Days to Die, storm thing. So basically, the problem I have, it's a bit like it is like the storm in Fortnite, because you get like the damage you get. It's in fact like one of the more severe ones, because they get worse the closer you get closer to the center, the closer to the end you get, isn't it? So I'd be dead there within I don't know how long. So basically, all I can do, you have to be indoors. So gameplay wise, you know what I end up doing half the time? I end up getting my phone out and just watching shorts. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what a stupid idea. I mean, that is the one of the worst gameplay mechanics I've ever seen added to this sort of game. So I thought I'd show you guys, because it just seems so bad. Like, okay, can we fix it? Can we make it better? What can we do what can we do to actually improve that? So you guys seem to have some ideas earlier on. Any ideas there?
Yeah.
Well, that's yeah. One of you guys start. We'll jump at it.
You're gonna have to pick one, Chris.
Crash Test Butter's got a perfect feature to go to the toilet. Yeah, it's a perfect feature to stop playing the freaking game. Like, it's a terrible mechanic. Like, it's a good way to lose your player. Yeah, it's telling you to go and do something, while it lasts. So everyone's got ideas. Fraser, go on.
It reminds me of Dying Light in the way that they have their day versus night system, and when night is like 10 times deadlier or whatever than the daytime. But
so 7 Days to Die does have that. Actually, already has that.
Oh right, well
yeah, it already has that.
Dying Light, they incentivize you going out in the more dangerous times by providing you with better loot or certain things that are only available at night. Okay. And so yeah, my immediate thought is, if you want to, but I don't know, because I'm like, my thought there is like, oh, a storm is a cool time to go out. It changes the weather. It would change the gameplay, and you just need to incentivize the player to do it. Maybe provide them with like a raincoat that will last for 5 minutes and be destroyed, and then you start taking that massive damage. But if I don't even know what this storm is meant to do. Like, what player experience, gameplay function does it serve other than stay indoors in, like you said, an open world exploration game, where every other gameplay mechanic is go out and explore.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's 100%
the main mechanic.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like the main mechanic is go out, explore, and Crash Test Bud is asking, is there no way to avoid the damage? No, apart from being inside, which you're either in your base, or you go into, or you're in another building where you could be. If you're in another building, if you're lucky enough just to have started going through another POI, place of interest, then you're kind of okay. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere,
best case scenario, it doesn't impact you.
yeah, exactly. That's a good point. That's a good point to say. Best case scenario. I'm writing these down. So, best case scenario. It doesn't impact you. Charlie, did you have?
Yeah, well, you guys have said it best. That it's the something that is totally against their core mechanic of exploration, and it doesn't incentivize going out into it in any way. There's no way to avoid the damage. It, to me, sounds like a cool idea, but an undercooked design. In the sense of, like, it's a game, you build a base, you know, you've got to go out and explore and do those things, and if the times that you're not around your base, you're just in a point of interest, you know, what happens in these points of interest? Is there, like, I guess, things to collect and whatnot?
Points of interest, yeah. You can loot. There's zombies to kill. There's it's looting and shooting and stuff like that.
But again, sort of keeping, you know, you're away from the storm at this point. Like, it doesn't affect you in any way.
If you're inside, it makes no difference.
Yeah, I think about Stalker's implementation of storms and how they sort of thematically go into their game world, because the game itself is supposed to be deadly. It's supposed to be unforgiving and a harsh world. So their design of the storms is they are really deadly to be out in. They limit your sight, so it's harder to fight things. You can still go at them in protective gear, so there is a way to traverse them. But more often than not, you're pushed into a cave or a building to sort of weather the storm, to wait it out. And what that does is often you'll sort of avoid these places because they're a bit, you know, extra dangerous for mutants and sorts of things. So it forces you into these more difficult areas if you're not into a safe zone. So I guess, like, the design and the mechanic there is almost punishment, but when you're playing it really elevates your experience, being like, oh god, I got to get to safety. There's no safety around. And then when you find indoors, you're really on edge and you're creeping around in the darkness. Say you're in a cave and you're trying to find another way out or something, and you're just hoping something's not in there. So it really lends to the world that it's built there, you know, dangerous, unforgiving.
So how do they... That actually sounds quite interesting, and I'm thinking, well, why does it not work that way in 7 Days to Die? So I guess maybe the other question...
Yeah.
Flip it on. So why does it work in Stalker? Or Stalker 2?
Well, I think the theme of it and the atmosphere and the feeling that they're going with is, that, as I just said, that danger, you know, whatnot. Not to mention that the Stalker storms are beautiful. The one that we just saw here was, you know, not too bad, but not a storm.
This is only Storm 1.0, where they might improve it in future versions.
Yeah. So the storms in Stalker are really visually pleasing to be a part of and to see, and even hiding inside and seeing the lighting effects coming in, it's really atmospheric. This world, though it is also seems dangerous and unforgiving, I think there is a lightheartedness that's inherent to a lot of building games and base building sort of things. It's a lot easier to not take it as seriously, so therefore that sort of just danger layer of going into somewhere doesn't really have the same effect versus the emotional layer of a story-driven game.
Would be interesting to compare like Stalker 2 with the vibe of Stalker 2 with the vibe of 7 Days to Die. It's not something they've leaned into very much. Whereas I'd say like in Rust, which is also a building game, they've leaned a lot more into the visuals and the atmosphere. but 7 Days to Die haven't kind of gone that. But I'd be very interested. That's a really
Hasn't
interesting
done that.
topic that I'd like to cover, because it's one of them. I'm like, yeah, they really could have in 7 Days to Die focused a lot more on the atmosphere, but it's not
Yeah,
something
and
they
that
did.
that might be something that really helps them in this case, is a bit more focus on atmosphere during storms.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's an interesting one to explore further. It looks like something. I don't know whether are you still playing Stalker yourself, Charlie?
I am. I've actually put it on break for about a month though, just because of updates coming out and stuff in my life. But I've just got the most recent one, and my computer is ready to go. I just need some time to get to it. But I'm about halfway through it. It's a great game.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind playing it myself, but it could be very interesting to compare that and see what the mechanics in Stalker do differently, and how it fits better with the world. So that could be really interesting.
When I next jump into Stalker, I'll note all the like mechanically sort of and gameplay changing things that I pick up on.
Yeah, if you can get some video too, like seeing is often the best. If you can sort of
Yes.
hit that record button while you if you think of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So sorry, I've left Sam to last. Sam, do you have anything to add? I'm sorry for leaving you to last.
That's all good. It's been covered, but it does change the core loop considerably, because
Yeah.
there's no incentive to go out and sort of weather the storm for any additional rewards. And if you don't have anything to build your base with, then there's not really anything for you to do to weather it out.
Yeah. Crash Test Better talked about maybe incentivize more base building, but like if your base is just fine, and particularly what seems to happen a lot is like just then I was doing stuff around my base. I was doing some crafting and stuff, and I was about to go out and do some stuff, and all of a sudden this friggin' storm comes along. It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just get the phone out
Wait
and sort of look. Well, just watch the bloody shorts on the phone while this crap's going on.
I think that could be an interesting way to sort of give it a purpose, though, right? Like, getting rid of the taking damage. But I mean, I don't know how prevalent like stealth mechanics are in 7 Days to Die, but if the storm reduced sort of the noise and visual detection of enemies, then maybe like it's easier to build a base because you're less likely to get spotted and approached by enemies. Or conversely, if like you said, if your base is all set up and you're ready to go out, maybe it reduces the detection range, so stealth is a lot easier and you can get around. It just seems like the last thing I'd think to do is just make it do flat damage.
Yeah.
It really is shocking that made it through. I don't know, it almost feels like a deadline, right? They're like, okay, we got the storm, like, weather effects in. What does the storm do again? Oh, fuck, it's got to go live tomorrow. Just make it do damage, I guess. We'll figure that out later.
I think so. Actually, it's interesting, Crash Test, but it's got getting grounded in game. To be honest, it's like being punished. It is like being punished. It's like this stupid mechanic which exists for no reason and punishes you. You just get stuck. It's like getting grounded or whatever. You just get stuck in there. Sam, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Wait, why didn't they just make it deplete your stamina faster? Because that would make it a bit more challenging if you got sort of surrounded by enemies. Increase the challenge a bit.
Dangerous without being directly dangerous to your health. That's not a bad idea.
So
I think the bar's on the floor. Like, anything would be a better.
It is pretty much. I mean, and look, this is not the only one. I'm happy to go through some other very broken mechanics in the game in coming weeks as well. So they've made some they've really flipped up to the point where people are actually installing a version of the game from like 5 years ago, which they're saying was the best version of the game. That's like, and they're doing YouTube videos. Alpha 16 was the best version and stuff. So they've kind of shot themselves in the foot. But look, interesting. Conversely, what they've done is they have then gone and knee-jerk reacted, and because they've had so much pushback, they've made the mistake, because like your player base doesn't always know what's best for them. Like this is just really true Any game designer has to understand this. Sometimes they do, but often the player base wants things that are not actually good. So there's certain things they've done which just makes me respect them even less now, because they've just, they've just responded without thinking to the player base, to the criticisms,
Yeah.
which can destroy your game.
So what have they done? Well, actually, before we move on from that though, I was just thinking the 7 days to die in game is the 7 days until the big horde comes, right?
That's correct, yeah.
If a storm locks you in somewhere, it would be sort of interesting if they just did like mini versions of that, to get you ready, see how well prepared you are. Where storms bring out a lot more zombies as well, so you have like a reason to defend. Oh wait, that could even be a simple patch.
Well, let's think about that, because really, I think the rule is in, like, one of the sort of basic rules of game design is, if things are harder, then you get rewarded more. You take the hard route,
yeah.
you get a bigger reward. You take the easy route, you get the soft, you get the nerfed reward. So I have sort of had some thoughts myself. One would be to buff all the zombies. Like, if a storm comes along, buffs the zombies. But the benefit of that, so the danger obviously is the zombies are more, maybe 50%. They have 50% more hit points. They hit harder by 50%, something like that, something along those lines. But also, you get more XP, and the loot you potentially get is better. So none of this you're losing hit points, but the zombies all get stronger, and you can get more hit points and better loot. So that's one thought I had. Yeah.
And if you go through the trouble of like the tech art pipeline of making a storm, you want people to see it. You want people to be out and enjoying that beautiful thing, not locked away inside.
Yeah. Anyone else got any thoughts on that? The added challenge plus reward? Anyone think of any ways to do that?
Crash Test Butters had a funny comment with the might be a meta move by them to get them to move over to a new game they want to publish. Which would be a pretty risky move.
Yeah, I mean, they actually
Sounds like
do,
the-
but yeah, I don't know.
Design solution, right? Just make the push patches
last
to make
one
the whole
worse,
product
yeah.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a risky move if you annoy your loyal audience.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. So no one can think of any other, like, risk versus reward way of doing those storms.
I think it's
well,
just
I
tough
guess-
being
sorry, you
like
go
a
first,
weather
Zach.
effect. Yeah, sorry. I think being a weather effect in a zombie game, I'm like they just feel a bit unrelated. Like, you said maybe like buffing the zombies and increasing the reward. I'm like, I don't know. From a narrative standpoint, I'm like, how does that happen? Which is why I instinctively leant towards, like the sound of rain and sort of the visual noise being a incentivization for stealth mechanics.
Yes. Yep.
Leaning into, I don't know, lightning. Maybe you could add lightning rods, and the sound attracts zombies, and then they get close, and the lightning strikes, and they'll get fried as some way to create like some elaborate trap. You could go very like Frankenstein with it.
Oh,
and,
wow. Yeah.
Maybe you can create artificial life and have a butler run around and help you do scavenging activities.
You're really
but at the
running
end of
with
the
that
day,
idea.
I really like games like Dying Light, where nighttime is harder, the rewards are better, but you can skip it if you're not interested in that for any reason. Maybe it's just on that day you don't feel like doing that, or as a trend you don't like it. There's a way to skip it, and it feels weird that you're just locked inside your base currently.
Yeah. It definitely doesn't work. I should say at night the zombies all run. So during the day most of the zombies walk. But when it gets to nighttime, so particularly at the beginning of the game, when you're just a little, when you're a little sort of weakling, you tend to spend a lot of time in your base at nighttime, and then come out during the day. So, yeah.
With that in mind, I mean, they could just mess with the atmospheric effects, and sort of if it's stormy, you're less likely to hear approaching zombies. So it sort of brings up the risk considerably.
Hmm.
And if it's darker, maybe turn the running mode on.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of things they could have done, isn't there? I mean, seriously. How did they just come up with this? I think we've come up with some good ideas. So maybe I think we might make this a regular segment. You know, broken mechanics, and maybe at the end of the year we'll have our top 3 broken mechanics to talk about.
Top 3 ideas to fix them.
Yes, I think it's good to have ideas. Like, I mean, that's part of the obviously, you know, focus on game design. We want to have ways to fix those. But any parting thoughts before we move on to the next thing we're going to talk about?
You said that they scrambled to throw a new patch in. Was that true? Did they change anything since getting on this backlash? Or is this very recent?
Yes. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So, hang on. I think if we go back here, well, they've done a few. Oh, so I think it's So this is what they did. Actually, well, okay. If you want a little bit of background, so they released version 2 patch notes. This was the bad one. And at the same time, they released DLC, and no one wanted to buy their DLC either because they had advertised it previously as built into the game, and then they decided, no, we're going to charge people for this stuff. And whoops. So then, they had what is it? Well, come up here. Oh, hang on, have I missed it? The town hall.
July 24th, Town Hall.
July 24th, was it?
Yeah.
Town hall. Yeah. So this is basically when they came out and said, "Oh yeah, whoops, we made a boo boo. We did something wrong." And so you can see there's been some changes if we go into here. So I don't know what these are. I don't know. Goodness me, not that much. Add lockable slots to containers and vehicles. Whatever. I mean, but yeah, you can see they have made some changes. Unlinking Discord account. Yeah, see, they did all this stuff as well. Link the Discord account. So there's all this stuff here. Yeah, probably too much to go through. I'd need to go into it to tell you what they've done. But they have done things which has not made me feel particularly confident about things going forward. It's still playability. It's still a good game. Like, I still enjoy it. But my God, you know, if they keep going the way they are, if they keep doing the stuff they're doing, they're going to destroy the game. So, yeah. Anyone
Well,
else?
good luck to them.
Yeah, good luck.
For your sake, Chris, I hope they don't fumble it anymore.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. What else would I do? I'd have to get Stalker or something instead.
Yeah.
Did they play test it?
Good question. I
'Cause
think
that
they've been in a
would've
rush.
highlighted-
To be honest, I think what's happened is that I think my impression of Fun Pimps, and look, I really enjoy the game. You know, I've got 1,700 hours in the game. I think what happened is that they put this game together in 2013. They had a hit which they perhaps didn't expect, and they sort of kept developing it. And you can look at the development. They put things in, they took things out, they changed things. You know, I don't think they're experienced game developers. So they kind of just did it by ear. And then what I think happened a couple of years ago is that, and a lot of them, they were very much focused on the mechanics, and the graphics always looked like shit. So it's always one of the criticisms I had of 7 Days to Die was it looked like garbage compared to other games. But the mechanics were really good. The mechanics were solid. That whole open world farming, and it's also a little bit like Minecraft, where you can basically everything in the world is mineable, destructible, buildable. So, and and it's really good. But then I think what happened is that I think they teamed up with someone else, or they got a consultant in, and they started working with a crew. Now I don't know who did this, but they started working with a crew to improve their assets, so the visuals got a lot better, which is great. It's really good to see the visuals improve. But then they also started making some really strange decisions. So I have a feeling someone has come in and talked to them and given them some different ideas from what they were doing and said, hey, you can do X, Y, Z. So they've got a new game coming up. They've connected with Twitch drops. They've got DLC. They're doing all this stuff. So it's almost like they had a consultant come in and tell them what they should be doing, but it was against it's against sort of like the spirit of the actual studio. So I think maybe they've done them and they've not done them well. That's my impression.
Hello, my darling.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right, darling.
Hello, everyone.
That's all right, darling. Charlie. So anyway, that's where I think things are at. Any final thoughts? We're going to move on to the next one in a minute.
No,
sticking
French
to
just
the-
about to say sounds like stakeholder ideas, and I think I kind of agree. Just as you're saying, Chris, someone's come in and given a bunch of ideas.
The
bit like sticking with-
executives give you a crap sandwich once again. Love the executives. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, sticking with the vision is probably the best way to go.
Yeah.
I think it is tough. 12 years in and still developing. I can, it sounds very executive decision-y, but also I'm like, how do you make something for 12 years that still fits the same vision and still scratches the same itch, but is new and keeps bringing the same people back? It does sound like a tough spot to be in.
Well, I mean, I've thought about that myself because Rust is the same, and it's interesting to compare the two. Rust was developed. It was also a DayZ clone. So 7 Days to Die was a DayZ clone, obviously with some differences. Rust was a DayZ clone. Rust has handled it really, really well. Rust has handled the development. They've made some missteps. They had, I think, a very well-known XP system quite a few years ago now, which they admitted at the time. They got rid of it. They said, yeah, we made a mistake. We got rid of it. And apart from that, they've actually done really well at managing incremental changes. So that's quite interesting. But 7 Days to Die has done it well, but over the last few years has tripped up. But also your point there, Fraser, about do you really, if you're a game developer, is your motivation to make yourself what's essentially a full-time job for 13 years or more? I mean, this could keep going for another 7 years, 20 years. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah,
Seriously, I mean, who wants to?
Over it.
Do you want to keep making the same game for the next 13 years? Anyone?
Yeah.
No, definitely not my goal.
Jagex with RuneScape.
What's that one? Sam?
RuneScape. It's been around since like 2001.
Yeah. I'm familiar. I didn't know it was still around. Is it online?
It's still going.
Yeah,
Online multiplayer?
Yeah, there's the new one and the old school one, isn't there? Didn't they branch off?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they
It's,
got rid of the new one. Is sort of plagued with microtransaction stuff, and they were losing a big chunk of their audience, so they decided to do a rollback and release RuneScape Classic, and that was
right.
that was more successful than the new version.
Actually, Crash Test Butters mentioned Minecraft. Yeah, but who owns Minecraft now? What's Nox doing these days? Isn't he like on an island somewhere in the middle of the Pacific? His own private island or so. He sold it to Microsoft, to Evil Corp. So he got out. Yeah,
and honestly, why wouldn't you at that point? If it gets that big and you've done so much to it, just
time to leave.
You've made it.
Cheers, guys. Catch you later. I'll take my couple of $1 billion. Buy my island in the tropics. Catch you later. Yeah, I that's not something that I would aspire to. Kind of work on the same game for 25 years. That sounds really boring. That's not creative at all, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Minecraft, I feel like is a good example of, there's enough of a giant business behind that there's a very well set out guideline and sort of Bible to follow. So you're either doing that and just putting out, iterations on the same thing, or 7 Days to Die, where you get, people come in and tell you what to do and you end up making huge changes. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, which is Fraser.
Let me share screen.
All right. Let me.
Yeah. So.
Hang on. You're not there yet. Ooh, this looks good. Oh, hang on. I did that too early.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing
All
lots
right.
of
Look at
pretty
this.
lights, maybe.
What have you been doing?
Yeah. So Gemini. What did I just full screen? The game? Okay, cool. And that's got some audio coming through.
Yep.
Hopefully.
We can hear it.
Yeah, Gemini have been working on Arvo since the start of the year, and since our second and most recent application to Screen Australia funding, we're feeling a bit burnt out. A bit nervous that we weren't going to get it, and so any sort of motivation was non-existent, I guess. So we, with the intention of just doing like a short game jam style thing, came up with a concept for a game which we're calling Soulbound. SOL, soul like the sun. And yeah, so over the past, I think it's been like a month, we've been working on this. Oh, and my cursor is not working. Uh-oh. Okay. Off to a good start. I will just launch it from... Yeah, I have been trying to package it today and it's not been playing along. High level. Hopefully that should work. But yeah, so we found a theme from a previous game jam, I think, which was don't mind the warning messages. It's fine.
Can you full screen it?
Yeah. I think it was like stargazing, and we came up with this concept of driving a boat around and in sort of the ocean at night, looking for stars which have fallen, and sending
Looking
them back.
for stars that have fallen. Really?
Yeah, sending them
that sounds
back.
like that's a fantastic idea. I'm just saying that. I think that like, as soon as you say that, that sounds great. I think it's a great hook.
We were really
It's a great
happy
hook.
with the concept. And so yeah, we've just been sort of trying to build together, as much as we could before now, because we've started to feel guilty about not working on Arvo. And this is as far as we've gotten. So we've got the boat, we've got these stars, and one of the main features of the boat is this sort of pillar here, which we call the cannon. So you take your star, you put it in here, and then you head up to the top, and you can hit this button.
Oh,
and it
that's
launches it
cool.
back up.
That's.
And so then it hangs
I don't know how
out.
much more there is to it, but that's amazing. I love that. I love the concept.
Currently,
I love the concept.
I mean, that's it essentially. We've got a little tracker down here, so 8 stars around the map, and we've got a little compass to point you towards the next one. And then I had a lot of fun. I made 3 rock assets, and I made the whole level with the different rocks, sort of piecing them together. Very, just sort of like kit bashing in that way. We've had ideas, because yeah, that's the gameplay at the moment. You just go from star to star and send them back. But we sort of had an idea for like an enemy system where there'd be 3 types of enemies. One that's attracted to sound, one that's attracted to light, and one that mimics the stars. And so essentially it'd be like a rock, paper, scissors where you'd fire the cannon with a blank to create a loud bang to scare off the one that's attracted to light. You'd shine a light on the one that's attracted to the cannon going off, and then you'd have to do a bit of like visual deduction for the one that's mimicking a star. But that's what I was working on uh, behavior trees for was to try and come up with an enemy, but
Ah.
yeah, it just sort of ran out of time. It's something we could add, but it'd probably take a fair bit of work.
Is there a story?
No, not really, which is really shocking for me. Normally, I'm very narrative driven, but
Because honestly, it strikes me as number one, a cozy game. I wouldn't put enemies in it. I would keep it as like some sort of cozy game because it's got a good vibe, and it's something I think you could really market to kids and families.
Yeah, there's something very wholesome about the idea of sending stars back up to the
Yeah,
sky.
yeah.
I love that. I love that because this whole time in the background, we've had a little bit of a cosmic horror hint to everything.
I'm not seeing
Like,
the
just-
horror. I'm not seeing the cosmic
No,
horror.
no, no, yeah. It never made it. Well, it hasn't made it in. I think a lot of that would come from the enemies. I mean, I was taking inspiration with a lot of the rocks for things. Obviously, it's super dark, so it's hard to notice. But like, this here is meant to mimic like tailbone structure. We've got a nice rib
Oh, yeah.
structure coming up ahead.
I thought that was Sydney Harbour
Uh,
Bridge.
Oh right,
Seriously, it looked like Sydney Harbour Bridge. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
I've seen it in person once, so maybe it wormed its way in. But yeah, this is this project we've been working on. The idea was kind of like Sea of Thievesy, where like you set the boat to be going, and then you'd have to go and manage stuff down here. We wanted to have these lights up the top. You'd be able to grab them and point them around to help look for stars, or to shine them at the enemies. But yeah, only having sort of the stars in terms of gameplay, it means that most of the time you're just kind of waiting, waiting to get to the next one.
There's a suggestion here in YouTube from Mantis 3D. So maybe enemies could be towed down, making, was it incontinence rather than being true enemies?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we did. I don't know. Our initial thought was just again, sort of like Sea of Thieves. Like you take damage, and it springs a leak in the boat, and then you'd have like a box of wood and you'd patch it up. But I think a hard game over in this sort of game would feel a bit punishing. And so then it's like, yeah, do you add checkpoints? So maybe enemies that don't necessarily like, put you in a game over state.
Crash Test Bud has seen the cosmic horror Cthulhu vibes.
Yeah, I'm glad. But it's been a
What
good
happened?
challenge. Don't mind that.
What-
It's fine. But yeah, I got to
What
do a lot of
happened?
stuff that I haven't done before. Working with sounds and cues, which I really enjoyed. Working with the buoyancy, experimental buoyancy in Unreal. And yeah, behavior trees, which was interesting to start learning about.
So I mean, look, I really like. I think it's got a great vibe. I think even if you were to keep the cosmic horror element in there, like it's not a hardcore horror. Like it's not the sort of thing. Like if you sort of kept the artwork as it is, like I think it could be very, very much the sort of game that a lot of people who don't like, true horror. I love true horror. But those people who like it has that cozy game feel, and I think you can keep that, and still like have that sort of cosmic horror with what you've got, but without being true horror. You're not scaring the crap out of people. So younger people
Yeah.
could play it.
I think that's where we would
Suggested
take
horror.
it. But thinking about story, I don't know why it hadn't crossed my mind. I think I was just so focused on trying to make a playable thing, and usually narrative sort of gets in my way and takes all of my time. But if I were to think about it, one of our big inspirations is Spiritfarer, which is a really lovely, again, like kind of that cozy vibe, but their narrative is really, really emotional. Essentially, you play as a Spiritfarer, so somebody who's faring spirits from being living people to whatever sort of afterlife. But all the spirits that end up coming and joining your boat are all people from your past when you were alive, and so you get a lot of this unresolved and stories being resolved. And so I'm like, maybe something in that way where like each star represents, you know, a different character or character type or story, sort of life moment. And then, but yeah, I just don't know how I would deliver it in this stage of game. Like, I feel like I'm constantly thinking about that as an indie dev, and I'm like, well, I can't afford actors.
Oh, I don't think you need it.
I don't know. I feel like I would even stay away from a personal story with this. Like, I think having like it's not so much in the world of reality, but just in this place where stars do fall, and it's this person's job to do that. Like, you can definitely inject some kind of narrative there without having it having it metaphorical, I guess.
And also,
That's a good
you can have, like I've said to you before, you know, you can have a fairly complex backstory. It doesn't mean you have to tell the audience. You knowing it gives you a lot of your design. You know, can often answer your design questions if you just have that. I think it looks really
Reminds me a bit of a game called Far Lone Sails, where you drive a big sort of machine which changes as the story progresses.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about, and this is maybe a little bad on my part. I hadn't thought about the boat in that way. Even though, Chris, like, one of the things I feel like you were trying to get across to me with Arvo was, you know, the vehicle, if it's integral to the gameplay and the story, it's a character in and of itself, and we can think about, you know, think about them as developing characters and the player's relationship to them. So yeah, I hadn't considered the boat changing. It was just sort of a static thing, but yeah, now it's really got me thinking.
So what are the plans, Fraser? You've got this far. Are you just gonna drop this now and go back to Arvo?
Yeah, so we're going to put it up on itch hopefully tomorrow, if we can resolve whatever bugs are occurring currently, so that anyone can go and play it and check it out. And then yeah, we'll go back to
So what is this for you? Is this just like a proof of concept? Is it like a tech demo? Is it like what was the whole idea? Why did you do this?
I mean, it was really just to work on a game that had no stakes and no consequences, because Arvo was starting to feel really overwhelming. And like, you know, if anything went wrong, it would be bad. And then also maybe an unhealthy obsession with trying to have backup plans. And if we had to apply for a new government grant, what concept would we show? So it was nice, the idea of having a concept with a prototype that we could show off. And then, yeah, as we worked on it, we just really enjoyed it. Like the atmosphere, like the theming. And so it just turned into, yeah, a little project, I suppose.
So it's... because it's kind of... it's quite small. There's not a lot to it. Like, there's kind of one mechanic, if you like. Collecting the stars and then shooting them up into the sky, which is quite nice.
But yeah, that's where I think having enemies in, because I'm like, I wouldn't want to make the boat any faster because the world is so small. But I like the idea of you know, sort of the chaos that starts to happen if you've got a creature that's coming up that needs you to go. You know, the idea would be you come down here, you grab something and you throw it overboard to distract it, and then you've got to come back up and dodge rocks. And then, you know, we also thought about things like having some environmental elements, like having a thick fog mist that would sort of really obscure your vision, but if you use the cannon you could clear it out for a time. But you know, this is coming back to that idea of one of the enemies is attracted to the sound of the cannon going off, so it's a risk reward of, do you clear the fog and see where you're going and then have to deal with one of the creatures, or do you try and navigate through the fog. But yeah, it's all potentials. It's really just a skeleton here, and I guess that's kind of a good thing. Like I said, if we don't get the grant for Arvo, this is a concept where I feel like a lot of those ideas could be really quickly thrown together, and we'd have another good, compelling prototype to have another shot.
So Crash Test Better put a really interesting idea there. Cozy Sisyphus. Make the stars fall down again once you have 9 stars. oh, yeah. Well, I guess you could do that. That kind of sounds a bit nasty.
This is a good, nice and close to these rocks. That was part of the water shader I got to work on. These ripples. Nice. My first go at shaders and working with that, and I don't fully understand it. I've very much copied a tutorial, but
you should come and do my class, Froze. I'm teaching shaders right now.
I should probably come and sit in your class. But it was really satisfying to get it to work. I think it was just it grabs like the distance field from the mesh, and then there's some stuff to make it just pulsate, and then it was just a matter of adding a base color. But it was just nice. It was nicer than using the standard sort of water material. Gave it that little bit more stylized look. I think it fits in a lot better with the assets that we have.
So Mantis 3D's had some interesting ideas. So fishing ships are often accompanied with birds trying to steal fish. Could be a sound line attracting enemies if sometimes the game would feel too lonely. How'd you have some action? It does feel kind of lonely, doesn't it? Actually, it has that... Yeah, which I like. I think I like that vibe. You're alone on the water.
I think adding some character to your boat would really go a long way in the sense of like you're in a research vessel or something. You know, not so much research as we understand it, but you know, like some sensors. Say you're busy loading a star and it starts doing a light beep saying you're approaching something or something, that then sort of gives more life to your boat as a character.
Yeah,
sort
100%.
of helping you direct through. Yeah.
That also gives you your progression. You can upgrades and stuff like that if you want to go take that route.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I think characterization and narrative is probably like one of the big areas that to add, because I really like the atmosphere, but you know, at a certain point you realize there's nothing else but atmosphere, and it's like, oh, well then.
Plenty of possibility though.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I'm glad. It was looking a little dire for a minute there, because the boat is using the buoyancy pontoons experimental system, which was good, and then we added the boat model, and that was messing everything up. So I had to figure out how to discount that essentially, and then after that we were having issues where the player, especially if you came up to this little crow's nest and you banged against the railings, it would tip the whole boat side to side. It was just awful. And so we spent a good amount of time just trying to solve those physics bugs. And finally it's at a point where I think the only force the player can apply is like the jumping, is like a downward force. Might be a bit hard to see with the boat moving. Yeah, there you go. That's kind of the only force I think you can apply as the player, which is nice. Really, really happy when we got that fixed.
Any chance you take us through that maybe next week or something? I'd be fascinated to see what you went through.
More than happy. I mean, cool. I've got Unreal open. I'm happy to show off any bits. I did.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week.
Yeah. I did also really enjoy doing a lot of the sound. I was getting a lot of Copyright Zero audio clips, and then bringing them in and having a lot of fun. Like the engine and the water sounds are responsive to sort of what speed you're going. Kind of, not technically the speed, but just sort of the input there. Cool. But then my favorite is I picked up a bunch of creaking sounds, metal creaking sounds. And so I have it on a delay, a random delay, and then it moves around under the boat. So it'll pick a random spot under the boat and then make the sound. And so playing with like the attenuation and the fall off, you get a really nice effect where it'll trigger from different points randomly. So I was quite
Cool.
happy with that.
Nice.
And then the last thing I want to show is the bug of being able to push the boat with the stars because
Oh.
so it's
Okay.
it's quite
Oh, interesting.
still
Okay.
quite broken.
Yeah. Oh no, we go down.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
So it's good
Looks good. Looks really good.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Fantastic. All right. Well.
One more for the road.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know why it got stuck.
Oh.
That's another
what
bug for you. Sometimes it stops going upwards. It hits something. I don't
happened? Hard
know what.
air. Bit of hard air.
We turned the collision off on it, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that's Soulbound. Maybe if when we put it on itch, if it gets a lot of attention, we'll come back and add more stuff. Or next time we need a break from Arvo, we'll work on it some more.
Nice. Alrighty. Thank you.
It's
Fraser.
got that.
Looks good.
It's got that soul about it.
I appreciate that. That's a good one.
That's a dad joke. All right. So the last thing we're going to do, which I think Fraser, you might appreciate this. So there is. I might share my screen with you guys so you can see it in real time. Does that work for you?
Yep.
Please do.
There we go. Share screen. So have you guys heard of Robert Greene? Have you come across Robert Greene before?
He
The name's
Is
familiar.
it
The face is
like-
familiar.
psychologist.
Actually, well, you could be. I wouldn't blame you for thinking that, but I don't think he is actually a psychologist. He's more an author.
Philosopher.
Author?
Yeah.
Philosopher? I mean, yeah, yeah. He wrote The 48 Laws of Power. Familiar with that book?
Not familiar. No.
Not familiar with it. None of you have heard of that book. Oh,
The
you should
48
go-
is that really like toxic book?
toxic book?
48 laws.
It's
I don't know.
it's
There's-
a
there's
manual
one
of how to
about
survive.
power.
It's the manual of how to survive in the world. I mean, you could call it toxic. It's not a manual. It's not a how-to. It's a this is how everybody else is behaving. So be careful, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was working in universities, and a colleague recommended it to me when I was dealing with university people. So yeah, it's I would recommend everyone to read it. I don't necessarily recommend you practice it, but certainly to be aware of it. So 48 Laws of Power. This is a guy who wrote 48 Laws of Power, and I came across this. So he's a writer. He's a creative, basically, and I thought this was a really good little video. We haven't done this before. We've sort of done a reaction video, but I think particularly, because we are in the creative fields, and one of the challenges is finishing stuff in the creative fields. So this is be someone who finishes things. So I might just play this. It's 4 minutes. It's not very long. I may pause it, but and we may, I guess if we feel like there's any lessons or anything here, or can we see ourselves in this maybe. So I'll play it now.
If you're just in the opening stages and you're already feeling like you want to give up, it can't be something that's very important to you. And I would give up and I would move on to something else. But if you're halfway through, do not give up. Keep going if it's something that's important to you. How do you know when to stick with something or give up on it and move on to something new? It depends on how far you're into it and the level of engagement and desire that's involved. If it's something that matters a lot to you, it's something that you've wanted to build or create for many, many years, it reaches something very deep within you, it has a personal effect and you're drawn to it personally, then you don't want to give up. Now, it depends on what's making you want to give up. Are you bored? Are you restless? Are you distracted? Is there some new shiny object that interests you? Well, that means your level of engagement and desire was a bit thin. It really wasn't attached to you that deeply. It probably didn't matter to you that much. Yes, it's okay to give up. But usually when it's something that's very deep and very important to you, When you reach that point where you're frustrated, you might contemplate giving up, but part of you goes, I can't give up because it means so much to me. I'm so deeply involved. It's so important to me. And you're conflicted. And then you must push past that inner conflict. You must push past those doubts. You go ahead and build it and continue on. I tell people in any venture, when you're frustrated, when something isn't working out and you're blocked and you don't know where to go next, it's a sign that something is happening in your brain, something positive is happening. Unconsciously, things wheels are turning in there. And your frustration is merely a sign that you're not aware of the progress that you're making unconsciously. And you have to push through it. I tell the story, or I read about the story about the great German composer Johannes Brahms. He was working on a symphony. He was completely blocked. He was going to give up on it. And he gave up on it because he couldn't figure it out. And then the next day, suddenly it all came to him, all the ideas, because he had given up on it, because he decided to move on. That's another thing that can happen to you, because he didn't really give up. He was really secretly hoping for a solution to come to him at some point. So if you're just in the opening stages and you're already feeling like you want to give up, it can't be something that's very important to you. And I would give up and I would move on to something else. But if you're halfway through, you're two-thirds the way through whatever you need it is, do not give up. Keep going. It's something that's important to you, right? So the key to everything in life is going at tasks and work that have a deep personal engagement to you, that mean a lot to you, that have something that you've been attracted to for your whole life, and all of your emotions are sort of fixated on this thing. And so when you have moments when you want to give up, your level of desire and love for the actual work will overcome those moments of giving up. But you don't want to be somebody who's always distracted, who's always seeing, oh, there's something new and exciting out there. I want to join that because that seems more fun than the tedious task of completing this project. If that's what's motivating you, you're in a shitload of trouble in life, because that's going to be a pattern you're going to set and you'll never, ever finish anything. One thing I would say is, sometimes for the sake of your own soul, even if you don't like it anymore, finish the damn thing so you have a sense of, I finished it, I did it, I actually accomplished it. It wasn't much fun, but now I know what it's like to finish something. I'm not going to set that pattern in my life of having half-fulfilled dreams, half-assed kind of thoughts and wishes. I'm going to actually finish something to the end.
All right. So, finishing stuff. Anyone got any thoughts?
It was
Very
quite
important.
poignant.
You think I'd show you stuff that's crap, that's not pointed?
A test, you gotta see if we just go, oh yeah, no, that was good, even if it was.
Just a bunch of yes men.
I mean,
I hope not.
I was thinking about the music I write. And sometimes I'll start ideas that nothing really sounds any good, so I sort of just leave it for a bit. But when I do start something where the ideas do flow, even when I do reach a point where, nothing on that particular day is sounding any decent to me, I tend to give myself a bit of a break, move on to something that, keeps my head in that positive sort of mindset, rather than punishing myself for not being able to come up with things. It does involve sort of learning about how you operate as a person and the things that you can do to make sure your head and mind is in that sort of positive, creative space.
100%. Absolutely 100%. Yeah. We're understanding your own limitations, your own, how your mind works, how your creative mind works.
Yeah. And I think piggybacking on that is where our harshest critics a lot of the times, and I find with whatever I'm working on, maybe like your music, Sam, if you leave it for a day or two, then you come back and you go, damn, this was pretty good. I thought it was crap when I was doing it, and it just gives you a little bit of time to, paint things in a new light. Previous work that you otherwise might have thought was subpar.
Yeah. And making sure you're eating well, sleeping well, staying connected with people. All these things that making sure that your body's in sort of the best state possible so you're not angry, you're not frustrated, you're not sort of more self-critical or upset with the things that you do.
That's a good point. Looking after yourself, that's a really important aspect as well.
I think that's really important when you're working on something, and I think the original prompt was like, how do you know when to quit something or keep pushing through? And it's like, I think it's really important to be in a really good state of mind and state of body to be comfortable and confident working and taking those breaks, But when it comes to the title of the video being someone who finishes things, for me, I find there's a really important distinction between finishing something and being finished with something. I think especially as like a modern day game developer with the internet and infinite patches and DLCs and games that have gone on for 12 years, you can kind of almost never finish a project. There's always another DLC you could push. There's always more another patch you could push. But feeling content in being finished and feeling comfortable to step away, I think for me is sort of the really important thing with a project. If you're either working towards a goal where you will be finished and feel finished, or if it's not going well, wrapping it up in some way. I think just like ripcord eject a seat away from a project is really, at least for me, it never ends up well. I need to feel comfortable with walking away from it.
So is that just what you were saying? Good enough compared to perfect?
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, I've never had a project feel perfect. It's only ever been good enough.
That, I think, what do they say? Perfection is the enemy of good enough. Is that what they say? Is that the same?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Yeah. So, look, sometimes, and I think Crash Test Battle was saying a similar thing there about perfectionism. I mean, that can really be one of the worst things, and it can stop you from finishing. Because if you don't feel like it's good enough, if you don't feel like it's something that people are going to say, yeah, that's good, and we are. Well, I think we're all afraid of, particularly in the creative fields, of being judged and being torn down, criticised, and that can stop you from finishing things. I think it can stop me from finishing things. It's like, I don't want people to judge my work. So sometimes you just got to push through and say, look, that is good enough, and I'm leaving it, and that's the end. I don't think anyone in a creative field, I mean, as long as all the bugs are done, or, as long as there's not major, problems with it, but if it's good enough and you're like, okay, I'm saying that's done, that's done. I mean, I think sometimes we need to learn to do that.
And I feel like that can depend on the context, right? Like, certain things for me, like especially if I'm doing art assets, 3D modeling and whatnot, my like good enough will be sharing it on Discord to my friends, and then that works up the chain. If it's a bigger project, something like Soulbound, my good enough is I'm happy to share it to the public. I'm not necessarily charging for it because I don't think it's at that level, but I'm happy for the public, the broader audience to see it.
Yep. Yeah.
But acceptance and sort of letting go, it's a tricky thing to learn and get comfortable with, because I'll find myself ruminating for days on end sometimes. If, for like, my capstone project was a good example, and I wanted to get way more than what I got done, but like stress and other life factors, they spill in and sort of interrupt that sort of flow state and ability to focus, and accepting that it wasn't going to be sort of the end vision. It probably never was going to be the end perfect vision that was going to be in my head, because life doesn't really work out that way.
And the
execution is always
thing to keep in mind as well is, like, I couldn't see inside your head. I didn't know what you were trying to do. I only saw what you did, and what you did, I thought was really good. So it's kind of interesting to see it from the audience's point of view compared to the creator's point of view. The creator, I think, as creators, there's always more we want to do. We could always do more, and yet when you're the audience, it's like, oh, you're seeing all this stuff for the first time. So, oh wow, that's that's really good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because we do get blind to that sort of first time witness because we see it every day. We
Yeah.
sort of play the same level every day.
Yeah, get too close to it, really.
Mm.
Yeah.
The other issue with games, I would say particularly something like games and writing. I think writing is another one because I'm also doing a PhD and I'm friggin' writing, and I can tell you what, it's crap. The beginning is usually really good I think for most creative enterprises. I can often feel like really, it's all really good. I'm really enjoying it. But once you sort of get a third of the way through, and this is sort of making a game or writing or whatever, it's like, oh, geez, does this ever end? Like what? I mean, it's grind. Making a game, generally, when you're in the middle of it, it's just grind. And you got to grind your way to the end. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. It's hard work. It's grind. You do your coding. You got to submit your builds. You've got to do your testing. You got to do your bug fixing. That's crap. That's horrible stuff. That's not fun. But you've just got to do it. You just got to get through it, and you just got to get to the end. That's why I like this idea of like someone who finishes things. I think any large project is like running a marathon, and you can't sprint a marathon. Not that I've ever run a marathon. I'm not a sportsman.
No.
But at the same time, you listen to people who've done that, and you have to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. I think it's a really good metaphor for developing things like games, any large creative project. You just have to keep going until you get to the end.
Yeah, and on the back of that is find your crowd, find your audience, find the person that is excited about what you're making, and surround yourself with people that are excited to see what you're doing, because that external motivation can really be the be all or end all for whether, especially for me, whether I do continue a project through. Because if I find I'm the only one working on this secret project and I lose motivation, that just might be the end of it, because there's nothing to spur me on. So I do really think it's important to, if you're doing something and getting it out publicly, find those people in the public that like that idea. It's probably going to be pretty hard to find that if it's a niche idea, or if it's an idea that's been really well done before. But yeah, there's a lot of advantages to getting some people behind you.
What about that idea of sort of giving out? Because he talks at the beginning about, if it's something you just started and you're not that into, and you're getting sick of it and you've only just started, that I guess it's kind of in line with the fail fast mentality. So not putting in too much effort. It sounds like you might have been down some of those roads, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't know, like fail fast but iterate again. Like to me that sounded a bit final, from saying like, if you're not into it, stop. I would, don't do it. It's probably just up to a personality, but for me, I do that a lot. I'll start something, I'm like, yeah, awesome, and then I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. But then, like I mentioned earlier, I'll come back and be like, oh, this wasn't half bad. I'm going to continue it. And this is all just with my personal projects as well, stuff that I'm going to be trying to, monetize or put out. I'm a lot more disciplined in my attention to it, and I understand that motivation comes and goes in those moments. But you're absolutely right. Like, you get to certain points, and it is a slog. It's a grind, and you got to go through. And I think it's just about the commitment. One thing that this guy did say that I found, really agreed with, is you gotta care a lot about it. If you don't care about what you're doing, it is going to be really hard to continue.
Yeah.
True. Any other comments?
The video itself was quite chopped up. If anyone else noticed that, and I was questioning, is this the actual message he was trying to say, or is someone cut the video and edited it together? to make it sound like we wanted to hear. Because I have seen videos like that before, especially.
That
Just like
that
the
might have just been
jerkiness
the,
in
it
the-
might have just been the start. He's also recently, or well, I think maybe 12 months ago, had a pretty severe, what do you call it, aneurysm, or
Right. So he's probably cutting and editing the video quite heavily. So there's. So
well,
it's quicker and
he's
smoother.
he's not a like yeah. There's issues with sort of movement. Like I think he's paralyzed on one side and stuff like that. So he may had to have
gotcha.
there may have been issues with sort of being able to sort of carry forward what he was saying clearly. So that might have been why there was more editing
Yes.
going on. Yeah.
That would make a bit of sense. I always stay wary of videos with a lot of cuts because you go, ooh.
No, just
What
trust
is-
trust everything you see on the internet on YouTube. That's all. No one would do anything bad.
Or it could also be
Surely not.
optimized for shorts as well.
Well, I was going to say that's the other thing as well. Like that's kind of what they tell you to do is actually jump cut really aggressively in your videos to keep them short. So that's only 4 minutes, and it seemed longer when we were watching it. So it could be either, it could be both.
Yeah, well, if you know Robert Greene and the stuff he says, I'm pretty sure, it's pretty easy to not think about those. But as someone who's like, oh yeah, I've heard of Robert Greene, I don't really know what he's about though. The cutting made me question just lightly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Anyone got any final thoughts on this? Before we wrap things up at 5 o'clock, 2 minutes to go.
It was just a really nice look at the human condition, really.
That's what the 48 Laws of Power are all about. You should read it. You should read it. Anyone else, Fraser?
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I'm just assessing my unhealthy habits when it comes to this. Like, thinking about him being like, you should be caring about a thing, and thinking about how I will attach responsibilities and feel guilt towards things if I don't finish them. And it's like, it's a tool that helps me ensure I get things done, but also I'm like, it's maybe not a sustainable. But that's I feel like a much broader or a much deeper conversation than a minute and a half would allow.
Yeah, well, it's probably something worth talking about. Maybe not right at the moment, but yeah, sure. How to manage your own psychological state. I think that's a big issue, which Sam was talking about earlier on, like getting to know yourself, know how you work, and sometimes manipulating yourself into getting shit done. Like I do that, there's I know there's things, if I do certain things, it's like I have to trick my mind, because if you just say go and do this, my mind's like no, fuck off. whereas I kind of like go to roundabout ways. I just sit down, you have a cup of coffee, then all of a sudden I'm doing all this stuff without even thinking about it. So manipulating yourself that's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for me it's morning walks, otherwise I just can't seem to turn that brain on.
Turning the brain on.
That's
Yeah.
a good habit.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good habit. Mine is just get straight. As soon as I wake up, get to it, because I just get distracted by life and everything I want to do too easily. If I distract myself with my work first thing in the morning, I'll stick to it for a good couple of hours.
Yeah.
Having a routine, I find, is pretty important as well.
Yeah, the routine helps.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we've sort of solved all those creative problems. That's great. We'll all be finishing stuff. Be great. I mean, it is one of those things, like just finishing something, like just having things unfinished. Sometimes success is of those successful people are just those who actually manage to finish it and get it out there, compared to those who just go halfway or 3/4 of the way and then drop it.
Yeah.
So we'll all be finishing stuff. Cool.
We will.
All right. Well, fantastic. Thanks everyone for watching, for coming here and chatting. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back, I think, at the same time next week, Thursday, 3:30. So we will catch you all then, I guess. Yeah. Catch you
Yeah,
guys.
sounds good. So yeah.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
See everybody.